I was trying to give you the silent treatment. That didn't work.
Wow.
Just we're gonna see how long I could have been quiet, just to see what you would have said.
Okay, okay, Ethan. Okay. I see what's going on here.
But
See, Ethan is getting jealous that I'm stealing his spotlight at the very beginning, and so now he's trying to be silent. Oh, yeah, there's your sponsor, Ethan. What you drinking there?
GB,
Come on, say it. Say it. Who's your
here
sponsor?
here everything's better. Don't
Oh.
sponsor me, please. Get the copyright out of the video. We're not making any money off of this anyway, so.
Nah.
Oh, okay. Um, let's begin with the recap.
Let's do it.
Um, a very interesting one. Georgia
Mm-hmm.
Tech and Miami.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I don't know if we gave Miami any karma from last year, but Georgia Tech got him again.
Yeah.
They got him again.
Mm-hmm. I seem Brent Key seems to own them.
Yeah, yeah.
Haynes
Well,
King.
and Georgia Tech's defense, man, they came to play.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
they
did.
were really good.
They did. They came to play.
And
Um,
Xavier Restrepo, I mean, they pretty much locked him down. I'm pretty sure he had a touchdown in the first half, but they kept on getting to Cameron Ward, and they got to him in the fourth quarter with about 126 remaining. That caused a fumble, and then Georgia Tech ran for a first down, and that's history.
chaos broke loose,
Yeah,
and this is kind of disappointing for Miami,
yeah,
considering that a lot of their wins have been come from behind victories,
right. Yeah,
and
I think that streak kind of came to haunt them a little bit against a pretty good team.
yeah, really good team.
Yeah,
Um, very a Vandy esque type thing this year.
right.
The year of the underdog.
Mm-hmm. Well, now in the ACC is really wide open now. I mean,
SMU is leading the ACC now.
yeah. Well, SMU's in first place. Second place, um, I believe, is Clemson. Miami is third right now, and then Louisville, Pittsburgh, Georgia Tech, and then the list goes on and on. But SMU's leading, and Miami's now got to win. I believe they're going to win the rest of their schedule, but no, Clemson, they're still in the thick of things. I mean, they've lost two games. They lost to Georgia, who's a two-loss team now, and then um, they lost to Louisville, I believe.
Yeah, Louisville, I believe,
Yeah,
is three
yeah.
losses.
So,
Still a solid
but,
team.
but yeah, Miami still controls their own destiny. They just got to win out. It's gonna be I think it's gonna be a tiebreaker for Clemson and Miami. Obviously, they don't play each other in the regular season, which I think is interesting. But that's going to be an interesting race, and SMU is sitting on top right now.
Very race to the end. SMU first year in the conference. How about that?
I know that's the most impressive thing too. They were able to take care of Pittsburgh at home, and they don't have Clemson or Miami on their schedule, so that really benefits them in a lot of ways.
And the committee sort of disrespected them with the rankings coming out today. They're projected to be one of the first two out.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I think they've done too much already, especially their first year in the ACC. I know we're talking about Miami, but the SMU's done probably better than what most people expected them to do in the ACC in their first year. So,
Oh yeah,
but going
they
back to
definitely
Miami,
surprised people.
but going back to Miami, Cameron Ward is still a stud. I mean, he's accounted for 32 touchdowns. He's only thrown 6 picks, and he's thrown for 3,494 yards, and he's still got a 89% QBR rating. So um, he's still obviously he's still up in the Heisman race, but Miami is still well in the playoff picture. The only concern for me for them is assuming they either whether they lose, if they win the regular season, whether they lose or win the conference championship, I think they'll still be in the playoffs. But then when you get into the playoffs, I think they're going to really have to fix they're going to have to be careful because they can't get behind anybody big time and try and pull any comebacks.
They got to assert dominance, and that's something they've really struggled with during this season.
Right.
They haven't really gotten off to a fast start and really dominated anybody in conference play.
Right.
At all.
Right. Yeah.
But, Cam Ward continues to dazzle. He continues to impress.
Mm-hmm.
Last game wasn't even his fault. He had 348 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That game was not his fault.
Mm-mm. No, in my Georgia Tech's offense, they just executed, and the Miami defense didn't do what they needed to do.
Mm-hmm. And Georgia Tech got enough stops in order for.
Yeah. And how about both of Georgia Tech's quarterbacks, Haynes King and Aaron Pilo?
Yeah, very interesting choice by the coaching staff of Georgia Tech to go with 2 quarterbacks. I was kind of confused when I was watching the game.
I know, I was confused too. I haven't watched enough of Georgia Tech to see, but I didn't know that they were using 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, they both accounted for a touchdown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the running game was really good. So
right.
They did what they needed to do to win.
Yeah.
Coach, that was an absolute coaching masterclass by Brent Key and his staff.
Yeah. No, he did a really good job. They did a really good job of game planning that week. And, we said last week, that could be a trap game for Miami.
Yeah,
and it was.
Yeah.
And what a win for Georgia Tech. Haynes King, he's accounted for 9 touchdowns. He's only thrown 1 pick, obviously. And then he's thrown for 1,600 yards. And then obviously the limited amount of time Aaron Pilo's played, he's got a touchdown, 1 pick, and he's thrown for 300 yards.
Yeah, he's got plenty of time. He's a freshman.
Right, so he's got plenty of time for development, and I think he's going to be a pretty solid quarterback in the ACC for Georgia Tech.
Yep. Yeah, Georgia Tech definitely has a solid future in the ACC.
Yeah, certainly. Well, that was a great win for Georgia Tech, and I believe they're bowl eligible now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another bowl eligible team. Everybody's starting to get bowl eligible. Bowl schedules are starting to get together, starting to get to that point in the season.
Right.
Where bowl games and everything's starting to get decided. Everything's sort of coming together.
Yeah. Right. That's exactly right. Well, another game that we highlighted last week was Army and North Texas. This was a very close game.
14-3.
Yeah.
That Army defense played phenomenal.
They're crazy.
Something else I really want to highlight is that smash mouth football that we were talking about, the exciting 10-minute drives. It finally happened. Army had a 12-minute drive and scored.
That's crazy.
12 minutes. It lasted almost the entire third quarter. And
that's crazy. That's unbelievable.
How are you fixing to do that? That's awesome.
Yeah.
They're bringing back the 40s for real.
Well, and Bryson Daly didn't even score a touchdown.
I think he had a pair of touchdowns. You'd have to fact check me on that.
Oh, yeah.
But it wasn't just him.
Oh, he did have 2 touchdowns. Yeah.
He had the only 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But they're being pretty disrespected in the playoff poll as well.
Right.
Coming in, I believe, 24.
Yeah. And then for North Texas, that's a tough one to swallow, isn't it?
Yeah. Especially being one of the top scoring offenses in the country and only dropping 3 points to a military academy.
Well, and their quarterback, Morris, he threw 2 picks in the game.
Man, that's
So
how you play football, man. Army fundamentals.
and obviously they didn't score any touchdowns, so that doesn't help either. You know,
Yeah,
but
this Army defense, they're for real.
hmm I can't wait until that Army Navy game, man. If Army continues to do what they need to do, and I think Navy only has one loss right now,
Navy,
man.
I believe, has 2 losses, but they're still really good.
Yeah, right. Good job fact checking me on that.
Yeah, just incredible stuff by Army.
Right.
Their 12-minute drive or something you only see in World War II football.
Yeah. No, that was a great win for them. Um, they're 9-0. And then for North Texas, they just got to regroup, and they were having a pretty good season there to start, and then they kind of gone kind of down a little bit the past couple of weeks, but they're still 5-4. One more game they'll be bowl eligible. I think they went 4-8 last year, so one more game will
Yep,
get them over there.
they'll make it. They'll make a bowl game. They're too
Yeah,
good not to.
yeah, yeah. No,
Um,
that was a really good game, and Army they did a great job on the road too.
and moving on to another game,
Hmm
Ole Miss and Georgia. This was a really surprising one,
You called it,
dude. That was
dude.
probably my best prediction, and you thought I was crazy.
That was crazy, bro.
I was off by 4 points.
Dude, oh my gosh! And didn't you put a 14-point spread on that?
Yeah, I said Ole Miss was gonna win by 14.
Dude, that
They
was
won by 18.
what a prediction, bro. Oh my gosh.
They need me on game day.
They need you as a guest picker.
Yeah, they do.
Well, Carson Beck, um, man, I don't know. I mean, well, and it wasn't all on Carson Beck either. He had another interception. I believe that's 12 interceptions in the past 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, I don't see him as a really good draft prospect at this point.
Well, and what's crazy is the drop off he's had from because last year he was 12-0 as a starting quarterback, and well, actually 13-1 as a starting quarterback, and this year, I mean, ever since they lost to Alabama, he's kind of, I mean, he just hasn't been where he's needed to be.
Even though he still beat Texas.
Right. Well, and that too, you also have to credit the Georgia defense too, because they did a really good job of getting after Ewers
Mm-hmm.
in the run
That,
game. But
that Georgia defense can only do so much.
right, right. Well, he was 20 for 31 was Beck. Nate Frazier, Trevor Etienne didn't have a touchdown, but Nate Frazier did. I believe that was the first touchdown for either team. I think on Georgia's opening drive, um, and then receiving didn't really do much.
Yeah.
So
It's not an overall good game for Georgia.
yeah,
And they're projected to be one of the 2 teams out with SMU right now.
yeah.
I still think they have a solid shot.
I do too. I just think they definitely need to win out for sure. They can't afford a third loss in my
No
opinion.
mistakes.
Yeah. Well,
Can't
right now
afford
they're ranked 11th. They still have plenty of opportunities. Um, but moving on to Ole Miss, how about Jackson Dart?
Mm.
He got injured on the first series of the game. It looked like he was maybe going to potentially be out for the rest of the game with it looked like a foot injury. Freshman comes in, he gives Ole Miss a boost. They score a touchdown, tie it, and then they never really look back.
That defense for Ole Miss played really well.
Dude, they played lights out.
They forced a lot of turnovers.
Yeah,
Exactly like we said would happen with Carson Beck and that Georgia offense.
yeah, yeah, and they were able to. They did a pretty good job of stopping the run game. Ole Miss's defensive line did a really good job, but their secondary, I was really impressed with their secondary. They played really well.
Yeah, Ole Miss, surprised us a lot.
Hmm
Uh, they're right back in the playoff hunt now.
Oh yeah, and I would argue too that they're still in the SEC championship race as
Yeah,
well.
sort of surprised everybody this past week.
Yeah,
And they sort of got themselves in a great position right now.
yeah, yeah. They just need to win these next two games. If they can get to 10-2, now they need some things to go their way because you still have A&M, you still have Texas, you still have Tennessee. I mean, you still have and even don't leave Alabama out.
No, yeah,
And,
Alabama.
and
We'll
we'll
get
get
to
to
that
we'll
later, but
and we'll get to them later. But I mean, those teams are not out. So it's a tight race. It's a tight race. I think it's anybody's game at this point. And then obviously, I don't know how many teams we'll have in the playoffs in the SEC, but
quite a
it's,
few.
it's kind of dwindling down a little bit, you know.
Yeah, everybody in the SEC, I think, is more than talented enough to get a spot.
Yeah.
That's just unless you're Mississippi State.
So, um, did you see the Ole Miss fans run onto the field with like 16 seconds left?
They they tore down the field goal post too. I saw that.
I think I saw something where they got fined like $350,000 because the fans stormed the field once with 16 seconds to go, and then they stormed the field again. I think they got fined for both of those incidents.
Yeah. I was a huge anti-storming field guy, but let the kids have fun.
Yeah,
Let the kids have fun.
yeah. Hey, especially a team that's I think they won 50 straight games against opponents not named Alabama. So that's a pretty big accomplishment because I think the last time Georgia lost to an SEC team was like 2020 or something like that. So
Hmm.
that was a big streak.
They broke it, and yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I'm checking right now. Um, how many dollars did Ole Miss get fined? Um, um, for beating Georgia, I believe. Um, let's see, pulling it up right now. Um, just checking. Um,
Yep, it was 350,000.
yeah,
Like you said,
yeah. So I was correct on that.
it's just let the kids have fun, man.
Well, and I believe in the SEC, it's a rule that you can't. It's some rule.
That's just such a dumb rule.
I don't know. They just want to keep it professional, I guess.
I had the reel that that said, "Oh, these field stormings are getting out of hand." I'm changing now. I've become a changed man about these field stormings.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. You can't. Some people you just let them be who they want to what they want to do. When it comes to that scenario, just let them have fun. All right. Well, going on to our next one. I did not expect Alabama to absolutely manhandle LSU.
College
Oh my gosh.
got mollywopped.
That was, and I believe, and I remember watching the game. By the third quarter, there was less than half of the people that were there.
Mm.
About one third just vanished.
Mm.
I mean, Jalen Milrow, he rushed for 185 yards and he had 4 touchdowns. Unbelievable.
He's Lamar Jackson in a way, but his passing ability isn't quite where it needs to be.
Yeah, yeah, just a little bit. Well, and we've always known that his ability to run is extremely dangerous, and
His ability to run is probably better than his ability to pass.
yeah. Well, and don't forget he can pass the long balls too. But I mean, when he takes off, man, if you don't have a defender close to him, it's over.
Yeah, he runs with such power too, such intensity.
Right,
He's a scary person to tackle.
right. Well, and both of their backs ran pretty hard too. I mean, Jam Miller, didn't run like 6 yards, but he averaged 2.9 yards a carry, which you'd expect in a game like that. And then Justice Haynes, the same thing, but receiving. Jam Miller and I think Roydell Williams, I believe. They averaged 10 yards a carry and then 14 and a half yards per carry. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, it is. I just
So
want to know what happened to Garrett Nussmeyer. Early season Garrett Nussmeyer.
yeah, he was off.
I mean, I think your Aggies kind of broke him.
Do what? Yeah, I guess he was still petrified.
He was broke. I mean, Ag Texas A&M. They sort of we found out this quarterback's weakness. Go take advantage of it.
Well, and he had several turnovers that were extremely costly. I mean, there was one play on a rollout where he just flat out just lost the ball, you know. So definitely missed opportunities, but and then LSU fans threw trash on the field.
Everybody's getting upset about something.
That's just I don't agree with that. That's messed up.
We don't care that your football team sucks. That doesn't mean you throw trash on the field.
Doesn't matter. If a call doesn't go your way, just live with it.
Change how bad your team is. Your team got dog walked. Like, okay, stop being salty about it.
Just be a good sport. Just be a good sport.
Put on your big boy britches and be a good sport.
Put on your big boy pants on and just
take it.
Just deal with it. It's not that hard.
Take your spankings.
Well, them Tigers and Baton Rouge certainly took a spanking to Alabama. Holy cow!
Definitely with a belt.
Yeah. Well, I think both of us picked LSU to win. Even College Game Day picked LSU to win.
And Jalen Milroe took that one personal, didn't he?
Yeah. No, that was wild.
Yeah, I think LSU's playoff hopes are about gone.
Oh, certainly, and I think their SEC championship hopes too, because they're 6-3 now, and they're 3-2 in conference play. I don't see.
It's about gone. Alabama keeps themselves in the playoff.
Yeah, I think they figured out something. I think they found something about themselves, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're sneakily getting better.
Yeah, I think we've seen how truly athletic Jalen Milroe is.
Yeah.
I think we've seen the peak of his athletic abilities.
Well, in that defense for Alabama, they played really well. They tackled in the open field. They weren't missing tackle. They weren't arm tackling. They were putting their chest. They were wrapping up. They were taking people. Up. Yeah, they were taking people to the ground. They did a really good job.
Dude, just a crazy outcome. Definitely didn't expect 42-13.
No, especially Saturday night in Death Valley.
Didn't expect for Jalen Milroe to become Derrick Henry.
Or Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was wild.
LSU in the playoff rankings recently went all the way down to in the 20s.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to climb back from that. I mean, they can win their next 3 games, but I don't know how that's going to make a difference,
Maybe it'll look good on good old Brian Kelly's all-time record or something,
Yeah, we'll see. Like we say every week, you never know what's going to happen. Something could happen, but as of right now, it ain't looking too hot for LSU.
No, LSU season is over.
But they can still get to they can still get to 10 wins. It's just they they've got a lot of work to do, if they want to get to where they want to be.
They sort of pissed the bed with this one.
Right. Right.
And speaking of LSU being ranked 20th in the playoff rankings, those just dropped today.
Yes, they did. The college football playoff rankings.
What do we think about them?
So here's as it stands right now. So in the first round, I'll go by first round. So if the playoffs started today, here's what it would look like. So you got Boise State, who's the 12th seed. They would face Ohio State, who is the number 5 seed at the current moment. Notre Dame would take on Tennessee in a 9 versus 8 seed. Ole Miss, 11 seed, would take on Penn State, which is the 6th seed. And then how about this? Imagine if we got this matchup. Alabama against Indiana, the 10th seed taking on the 7th seed.
Man, how about Indiana? Ranked number 5th in the country.
I don't know, but
that's probably their highest ranking ever.
Right.
And
yeah.
Something I didn't mention before, but this is Indiana's first double-digit win season.
I was about to say, I think this is their first 10-win season in school history.
And absolutely groundbreaking stuff that we're on here for Indiana.
Right.
They deserve every bit of it.
Yeah. Well, and then so in the quarterfinals, so teams that would basically have like a first round bye or like a bye week before they get to play. Miami's in the 4th seed. Obviously, Oregon still undefeated, number 1 seed. How about BYU, number 3 seed, and then Texas would be in the 2nd seed.
Dude.
So BYU, that's what it would look like as of right now if the playoffs were to start right now.
Yeah, that Holy War game was crazy last week.
Yeah.
They barely squeaked it out.
Yeah.
Barely got out of there.
Yeah.
And, I don't think BYU deserved to win that game.
No. But they just you just got to keep finding ways to win. And they certainly did that. And I think Utah's athletic director got fined for the comments he made.
Yeah, dude was not happy at all.
No. Nope.
Well, again, what we said to LSU fans, put your big boy britches on.
Put your big boy pants on and just got to deal with it.
Just deal with it. Stop being a baby. Crying on national television is going to get you fined, especially when you add cuss words to it.
Are you calling out the fan bases now?
Oh, I'm not calling out any fan base. That behavior.
Yeah.
AD is just not.
Right, it's unnecessary. There's no need.
I'm not. Utah has some wonderful fans, from what I hear. I have nothing against Utah's fan base itself. Wonderful people.
Yeah. For sure.
And that was someone who should have been in the playoffs this year with a decade-long quarterback Cam Rising, but
was this his 7th or 8th year in college? 7th?
Yeah, get him out of here. Get him out of here. Go get the fries in the bag.
Man.
But yeah, playoff rankings, I think all these are very, at least somewhat fair.
Mm-hmm.
At least in the top half, like the top 5, 6, I think are really, really fair.
Yeah, I would say the top 5 right now are pretty. They're. I don't see any discrepancies or anything like that. I think that's pretty dead on for right now.
No.
Top 12, I would say maybe a couple of maybe there might be some debate, but I think it's. It is what it is right now. So
yeah, something you might want to look at. Something very, very interesting is happening in the Big 12. If Colorado wins out, they make the Big 12 title game.
How about that? That's crazy.
They have a chance to make the playoff.
They have a legit shot. They have a legit chance. They can make a statement these next few weeks too. You
Man,
know,
Deion Sanders could be playing in the city that he built.
that's that's crazy. That's insane.
Yeah, and we thought Colorado maybe 6-6.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody thought that. Well, I frankly thought maybe 6-6 might be their best record. Might be the best they can do. But
Man,
they've worked.
Deion really put those haters to sleep, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did. And they're if they keep winning out, they'll be doing something special that Colorado hasn't done. I don't,
They're gonna yeah.
yeah. Well, I
They're
can't believe.
exciting to watch.
Well, I can't remember the last time Colorado played for a Big 12 championship. I think it was the early 2000s.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice to see them competing for something,
Yeah,
playing for something meaningful.
yeah. Well, I think talking about Colorado and the rankings too. I think I still think teams um, like Kansas State. They still have a legit shot. They still have a legit shot to make the um, title game.
Yeah, I just don't see Iowa State really doing too much anymore after those two losses.
I don't know how I feel about them now. I don't
They're
know.
definitely pretenders. They're not contenders.
Yeah,
And well, time will tell.
we'll see. That conference is definitely getting interesting too.
And now we're moving on to the Heisman rankings, and they've kind of shaken up a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Ashton Jeanty had a very, very good game.
Mm-hmm.
Put up 200 yards and two or three. Let me check. But he definitely had over 200 yards. I know that for sure. And Cam Ward is still in there. I think his odds have gone slightly down just because he didn't win that Georgia Tech game.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Um, I think for him, he needs to put he, you know, I think his stats are still just unbelievable, and I think, um, you know, I'm not gonna say he's gonna win the Heisman right now, but I think if he keeps up his stats like he's been doing, I think he's got a very good shot. Like you said, Ashton Jeanty, um, I
34 carries, 209 yards for 3 touchdowns.
that's absolutely insane.
But people said, "Oh, he's getting so many carries. He's still averaging 6 yards per carry.
That's still pretty dang good. That's really good.
He's getting a lot of carries. I mean, so what?
Yeah,
He's he
he's still
deserves
really
it.
good, man.
Boise State's a really good team too. They're
Well,
on
they're in the dang playoffs right now. They're in the playoff scenario.
they're the group of five team that's gonna make it in right now.
Yeah, yeah, for
They deserve
sure.
a bit of it. It's either them or Army.
Yeah. Well, if I'm afraid for, I think if Boise State played Army right now, I think Boise State would beat them.
I think so.
Yeah, but
Unless Army's
we'll see if that matchup even comes about.
no, that will be a discussion probably the next episode.
Yeah. Oh, and obviously Travis Hunter is still in the conversation. Dylan Gabriel is still in the conversation.
Travis
Um,
is probably more in the conversation now than ever.
yeah. Right.
Travis, it's three people I think that's in the race that's in the race right now. It's Ashton Jeanty, Travis Hunter, and Cam Ward.
Yeah.
That's all I see.
I agree. I agree. And I think out of those three, I think as of right now, I think it'd be as of right now, I think it'd be Cam Ward to come out with it as of right now. But we'll see how the other two do. You know,
Yep. Ashton Jeanty's gonna hit 2,000 yards this season.
that's crazy. No, I think it's gonna be. This is probably one of the tightest races in a long time.
There's no clear cut winner.
Mm-mm.
And
No.
everybody says, "Oh, it's Cam Ward, Cam Ward, Cam Ward," but Cam Ward didn't win when it mattered.
Yeah.
Ashton Genty's gonna put up probably 2,000 yards this season.
And he'll definitely be a finalist for the best running back in the country.
He'll definitely win the Doak Walker.
Yeah. There's no question, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, that's it.
That's it for the recap.
Really, that's usually a lot longer.
Yeah.
One of our longer recap episodes. A lot to talk about, you know?
Hey, we just get our information out, and then we just carry on, you know?
Yeah, we talk about our opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And we will. The off season's coming up really soon. So
It is. We're going to give our viewers some different content as the off season's approaching, and we're going to figure something out, you know?
We're gonna have to, we're taking requests for guests. Like,
Mhm.
actually,
Yeah.
you want to be on the show? Hit one of us up,
Let us know.
and we'll get you on the show.
We'll try not to embarrass you. I'm just joking.
Nah. No embarrassment here, all love.
Yep. All love and respect. Alrighty. Well, I think that's it for this episode. Oh gosh, Ethan. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. See, this guy is being kind of silly.
Uh-huh.
Alrighty. Well, we will see y'all later. We'll see y'all on the next episode.
Adios, amigos.
See you later. Alright, that's pretty good.
Yep. I agree.
Oh.
Tomorrow.
Do what?
I'll try to have it out by tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm busy tonight.